but the challenge is to ensure that the information we are getting is authentic, true, and meaningful. Now, as Canadian Muslims, we face a lot of challenge. Since September 11, there was explosion in one industry. Who knows this industry? It was a huge explosion in one particular industry. Engineering? Possibly, maybe. Well, there was a huge explosion in the area of speakers in the name of Islam, experts in the name of Islam. Lots of books have been written. You look at the TV, experts in Islam, scholars in Islam, and it's amazing that the number of people who are presenting themselves as being scholars and experts on terrorism and Islam and jihad and this and that, which unfortunately most of the things they talk about is meaningless. But because Canadians and people in North America do not have much knowledge about Islam, and because also they were living under an environment of fear, which we hope will come to an end with a new administration, if he stands true to what he said. He was talking about openness, he was talking about working together. Now that environment have made people believe anything that's said to them about Islam. Now this lady that you have seen, there are a number of ladies who are very critical of Islam. But many of these ladies are taking their own personal experience and projecting it on Islam. Talk about Irshad Manji, for example, who wrote a book about I think the problem with Islam. And in this book she talks about her own father and how she hates him. And she talks about her teacher in the weekend Islamic school and how she hates him. So she comes from a family where she did not see the beauty of Islam. Someone like Tara Ramadan, like Irshad Manji, was born in the West. But he grew up in a home where his father was knowledgeable in Islam. He saw the love, he saw the care, he saw the attention, he saw the beauty of Islam in his own eyes. She did not see that. So what did she do? Instead of writing a book about the problem with my family, it is the problem with Islam. Or Amna Hirsi from Somalia, who her biggest problem is that she was exposed to circumcision, and also she was forced to marry when she was young to a person she did not like. Does Islam subscribe forcing women to be married to a person they don't like? No. The kind of circumcision that happens in Africa is a mutilation and has nothing to do with Islam. She can blame her culture, she can blame her family, but projecting that in Islam and then appearing to be an expert and authority in Islam is definitely a problem. And that's what we are seeing today, because there is a receptive eye, a receptive ear. Everybody is projecting their own issues and their own problems and coming to represent Islam. So, for us, and I see many amongst you who are young, we should realize that we have to exert an effort to study Islam. I shared with you the story of Abdullah ibn Abbas. Abdullah ibn Abbas was one of the highest authorities in Islam. Abdullah ibn Abbas said that he used to go to the houses of the companions of the Prophet ﷺ. When would he go to them? Around Zuhr time. Zuhr time is the time where nobody, after Zuhr, nobody would venture outside because it is extremely hot. So he knows that they will be at home. And this is the time where people take what they call qaylula, a short nap. So he said I would wait for them till they finish their nap, and when they are getting ready to go for Asr, I would approach them with questions, and I would ask them to share with me what they have learned from the Prophet ﷺ. So he was making an effort to learn. And I say to many of you who are young, you should make an effort to learn. Every opportunity you have for learning, you should take advantage of it. Islam has to be learned. Islam, we will not be spoon-fed, but we have to go the extra mile. So the challenge for us is to make effort to study Islam. The second challenge is to find a good guide. And the third is to understand Islam authentically. Reading certainly is another way of learning. But even with reading, you need a guide and you need a mentor. I know a person who came to Islam many years ago, and after studying the articles of faith, somebody started confusing his mind and telling him about this Wahhabism and how destructive it is and so on, so on, so on. And the person became so obsessed with Wahhabism, and he thought it is his task to make sure that he exposes Wahhabism. Now, regardless of what Wahhabism is, what the history of Wahhabism is, who the founder it is, this is the number one information that this particular person needs to learn. Number what? Number million and two. So before reaching to that point, there are many, many important issues that he needs to learn. But the poor person did not find a guide. And he found somebody who just diverted his attention to something that was destructive and meaningless and useless. You go to the websites today, you could come across websites talking about Sufism, Ibn Arabi, Rumi, and who said this, who said that. That's a secondary knowledge. That's not something important for me. If I am going to study law, that is for me number 10 million in priority. I have to get the core understanding of Islam, the authentic understanding of Islam, and then my priority is to be proficient in my study. So clear understanding of the seerah, clear understanding of the beliefs of Islam, clear understanding of what's allowed, what's not allowed, clear understanding of the main issues confronting Muslims, clear understanding of the main elements of being a good Muslim, good character, good personality, good behavior, and also understanding the nature of this life and remembering that we will all be held accountable by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for all that we do. So that's all what I have to say, and I don't know what Ahmed have in plan for you, and jazakumullah khairan.